What are we up to, everybody? It's about 11:13 at night, May 11th on 2021. I finished my workout routine a little earlier and I'm enjoying myself some Mickey's right now, just having a little sip before I go to bed. I want to discuss about another topic that relates to relationships and belonging and fitting in. Now, here's one of the main reasons why excuse me. The Mickey's got to me a little bit. This is one of the main reasons why I don't have very many friends. I don't associate myself with that many people. And why I also choose to go MGTOW. Okay? Because, as I say in the top of the video, to me, fitting in and trying to go along with the in crowd and doing what other people are doing just to be liked and accepted by others, to me is lame and boring. Okay? Now, why is that? Because I think about it like this, is that a lot of times when people want to associate themselves with a group of others, they tend to compromise themselves. They become more of a false, watered down, lame, and boring version of who they really are. You know, one of my favorite comedians, George Carlin, said this, is that he does not like groups of people because they compromise who you are as an individual. And I feel the same way. Not just feel, let's go beyond that. I am the same way. Because I've realized this ever since I was a kid. I never fit into anything. I never had that many friends. I never was really, I was liked by other people or whatever, and I was somewhat popular with groups and whatever in school, but I just never cared to fit in or join with anything. And I found myself forcing myself to become a part of clubs or groups or whatever. But it wasn't because I really wanted to do it. It was because I was trying to appease others, like my parents, for example. My parents have had this issue with me saying, "Oh, you need to go ahead and join up with groups. You need to go ahead and make more friends," and blah, 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 blah. And I tried doing it on my own. I've tried it. I've tried groups, social groups, whatever, but I have never, ever found anything that I truly clicked with. The only thing I've really clicked with in general in my life is myself. I remember back in when I was a little kid, and one of my favorite things to do on my off time was read this comic strip called Calvin and Hobbes. Oh, here comes my mom.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Mom. But anyways, when I was growing up, I read a lot of Calvin and Hobbes. And one of the main reasons why I liked Calvin Hobbes was because I could relate to Calvin. For those of you who don't know who Calvin Hobbes is, Calvin is this young misfit kid who was never understood by anyone. He never was understood by his teachers at school, by other kids at school. His parents didn't even understand him or accepted him. They never really liked him as their child. And the only person and the only thing that he was able to relate to was his stuffed tiger, his imaginary friend Hobbes. Calvin was a young kid that was in his own little world and was his own best friend and was caught up in his own imagination. And I felt the same way growing up as a kid. And I've always wondered, why is it that, I never fit in? Why is it that I'm never really liked by other people? But then as I get older, I just realize I don't have to be liked by others. I don't have to be accepted by other people. Because as I come to realize, when you fit in, it's boring. It's lame. It's like, I come to understand this, is that trying to be cool by being accepted and liked by other people, you compromise who you truly are. And I just think, no, I don't want to end up living my life like that. I'd rather be alone and be true to myself than be fake with a bunch of fake people so that I can belong to something. That's why I don't go out to bars. I don't go out to clubs. I don't go out to very many social gatherings. I just don't care. I'm just, at this point, I realize, I'm just living my life to do me and be the best that I can be with what I really want to do. And I think about it like this: the coolest people in the world are not the ones who are trying to impress other people. They don't care about being liked by everyone. They're not trying to get as many followers as they can on Twitter or Instagram or have a lot of friends on Facebook and likes or whatever. They're people that march to their own beat. They're people that march to their own drum. This is what I think. The people who are truly cool and confident are those that have their own sense of individuality. They have their own identity. They have their own style with everything they do. Like, I have my own way of the way I dress. I have my own style of music I listen to. I have my own set of beliefs. I don't subscribe to any religion. I don't subscribe to any ideology. I'm open to ideas and ways of looking at things in the world, but I don't subscribe to anything. I just do me. And the people who are really cool are those that actually have their own sense of who they are, and they don't give a fuck about what other people think about them. That's why I have a hard time relating to other people. Because most people in general are not like that at all. Most people in general, they're like sheep. They're like robots. That's why I understand the whole concept of MGTOW and red pill, blue pill, and all other stuff. Because living in this world, I kind of think about it like this. It's like living in the movie The Matrix. Most of us are living this pre-programmed life that we're taught to go and filter into and conform to ever since we were kids, by what our teachers tell us to do, what our parents tell us to do, and what society tells us to do. And most people don't question what they do and why they do it. They just do it because, this is what everyone else is doing, and I want to be liked by everyone, and I want to fit in. Man, fuck all that shit. Fuck all that shit. Okay? The more of a robot and a sheep you are, the more likely you are to go on all the bullshit that's out there in the world. I mean, I come to understand this about myself, is that when you choose to be who you really want to be, and you don't choose to conform to what the world and society expects you to do, like, I didn't want to go to school like everyone else did around my age. Why? So I can go ahead and get myself a worthless degree that's not going to do anything for me, and I'm going to end up with tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt and not even find a job with my degree. I'm not getting married or having children. Why should I? Why should I, when 40 to 50% of all marriages end in divorce and only 17% of all marriages are happy marriages? It's not like I'm missing out on anything. I mean, I wouldn't mind having myself a girlfriend, someone to have a relationship with, or if it's possible, maybe having multiple women if they're cool with it. But I don't want to get married and have kids. No. Why? Because I want to be liked? Because I want to be accepted by others? I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck what any of you think about me. I give a fuck the most about what I think about my fucking self. Okay? I'm not trying to fit into any group of people except of 3 people. And that includes me, myself, and I. And you know what? Having this whole mentality, I feel as though I'm stripping away of all the bullshit and all the programming and all the lies that I've been taught by the world ever since I was a kid. And it's just like, I feel so much happier and free with this idea in which I don't give a fuck what any of you people think about me. I'm just here to do me. I'm not trying to belong to anything. I'm not trying to be liked by other people. I'm choosing to like me. I'm choosing to be happy who I really am. Okay? I'm just living my life to be the best version of myself, not to go ahead and belong to a group to shape me into being something I don't want to be. Like this one rapper I like from Houston, Texas, Zero. He said in one of his songs, Happy Alone, I go alone. What the fuck is a crew? A bunch of people that won't let me do what they want me to do. What I want to do. You know? I don't want to live my life like that. I like friends. I have certain people I hang out with, but I don't hang out with people in groups. I hang out with people one-on-one. Because when you hang out with people one-on-one, you get to see them for who they really are. They're more true and real when you see them one-on-one. But people tend to compromise who they are just in order to fit in. And that's just a bunch of fake shit to me. You know what I'm saying? It's just a bunch of fake shit. I mean, that's why I don't get caught up in social media. That's why I don't really get caught up in Instagram, all that. It's just a bunch of fake shit that people get caught up in just so they can feel validated by others who honestly don't give a fuck about you. Okay? If you gave more of a fuck about yourself and being who you really want to be, you'll be much happier. I think people, they try to fit in and belong to a group and with others because they're insecure. Because they don't even like who they are. They don't have very much self-confidence. They don't have their own sense of direction and identity. So they want to belong to something to give them all that, rather than learning to do it on their own, which is what I'm choosing to do. That's why for me, the whole MGTOW mentality makes sense. I'm not necessarily trying to fit into MGTOW, because from what I know, MGTOW is not about trying to fit into a group. It's just a lifestyle that you choose to live. You go your own way in life. You choose to be the best that you can be and not subscribe to the stupidity and insanity of the world and not choosing to get caught up in the matrix. I mean, for me right now, I'm starting to feel like Neo in the Matrix. I'm finally waking up and seeing through all the bullshit that I come across every fucking day. I mean, I'm aware about what goes on with politics. I'm aware about what goes on the news or whatever, but I don't choose to get caught up in it. I don't have a stake in the outcome for anything anymore. You know, I'm not trying to fit into anything anymore. I'm just here to do me and do my best with my life and take care of myself and those who are close to me. But then ultimately, everyone's got to go ahead and figure out who they are. Everyone's got to go ahead and instead of trying to fit in and impress other people, they need to understand who they really are and not trying to live in their life to impress and satisfy anyone except for themselves. But most people, they don't have a sense of self. That's why they try to fit in and be like everyone else. Why we want to be like everybody else? When you're like everybody else, you're not special. There's nothing that really stands out about you when you choose to be like everybody else. Besides, I come to understand this. A lot of some of the most important and innovative people in history were oddballs, were weirdos. People were outcasts, people that never fit in anything. But that they bring along the new ideas that change the world. Some of the greatest philosophers, inventors, artists, like Salvador Dali. Salvador Dali was a real oddball. He was an Spanish artist that was one of the creators of surrealism. He was doing things that nobody else was doing. But he had his own style. He had his own way of creating art and interpreting art. And people thought that he was crazy. I remember I read this one article of an interview that he did with a reporter back in the days when he was still alive. And the reporter asked him, "Do you do drugs?" And Salvador Dali said, "I don't do drugs. I am drugs." I mean, he was a real character. People might say he was crazy, but I just think, you know what? He was just different. He had his own style. He had his own way of creating art. And he did not give a shit about what you thought about him and how he created art. It's like, I remember reading in a book about Salvador Dali. And when he was in school to learn how to do art, they were talking about, prisms and cubes, basic shapes and all that. And he's like, I don't want to do this. I want to do something different. And so he created some of the most important, innovative pieces of art in history. What is it that I'm going to do in order to go ahead and create something different? I'm in the works of that. I'm moving forward with my work. We're learning all I can about the food service and restaurant industry. And I'm planning on seeing about going ahead and creating something on my own in regard. I'm thinking about going ahead and doing a food truck, making food out of there, maybe a little hole in wall place, doing some barbecue, maybe some kebabs, sandwiches. I'm narrowing things down right now as far as where I want to go. Have some hobbies on the side, my DJing thing, my exercises, playing basketball, going out for walks, going out for hikes, taking time out to travel, reading books on self-improvement, masculinity, manhood, entrepreneurship, doing what it is I want to do so I can fit into my group of myself. Not going along with all the bullshit everyone else is doing. Fuck all that shit. No. And for all the rest of you guys, I encourage you to live your life the same way. Quit being fake. Quit being a phony. Quit trying to impress a bunch of people who are just nothing more than just a bunch of fake phonies anyways. Alright? Just do you. Figure out who it is you really are. And go ahead and embrace that, who you really want to be. Rather than what other people want you to be. Whether it's people you see at work, whether it's your family, or whoever. You don't live to impress your life except for yourself. You create your own version of yourself. That's why I'm choosing to go ahead. 3-1 J-Rock. What's up, man? You're all good? Hey, I appreciate you tuning in, but I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this off right about now. What I can say, what more I can say? Yeah. What's what I can say? Fuck the fakes. Stay real alone. If you guys stay real alone just to be who you really want to be, then do that. Because there's so much fake fucking bullshit in this world, man. I don't care to get caught up in all that fake ass shit. Alright? So, just a thought for tonight. Don't live your life thinking that you gotta fit into nothing. Okay? Be you. Be who you really want to be. And go ahead and learn to respect yourself and know yourself above all else. And your life will be so much better. I know it is for me. I get more respect and people look up to me more at work and other places. But I'm not doing it to fit in. I'm doing it to be to be me. So keep moving forward in that direction and be real. Fuck being fake. Peace out, everyone. You have a good night. I'm going to enjoy myself some more of this right here. And I'll see y'all next time. Later.